It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. As promised, we are delivering the head basketball coach for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. That is none other than Coach Byron Smith. Coach, how you doing today, man?
Doing well, Mike. Yourself?
Well, I'm doing quite well. Hopefully you and the family are safe and, out of Miss Corona's way.
We are. Thank you for asking, and hopefully the same with you and your family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, man, you have been a busy camper. You just signed 8 on last week. The underline is hopefully we'll get a chance to see these guys bring it together on the hardwood. But bring us up to speed, man, of the Elite 8 that you're bringing on the hill.
I appreciate that, Mike. Hope that they are all elite. We've done a really good job. We worked really hard, obviously in this recruiting cycle under these tough conditions. But we have been able to bring in a really solid recruiting class, and we like our team. I mean, we got some experience. We got some guys that can play multiple positions, that can do some different things, that can really score the basketball, can defend the basketball, and rebound the basketball. So we really feel like we got a complete group. Now, the $64,000 question is, like you say, when do they get on the floor and show the country, just what they're all about.
Now, with this COVID approach to everything, and guys, even though they're in the portal, there are restrictions on what you can and can't do. How are you able to lure, and I hope that's an appropriate word for this situation, these guys to be a part of what's going on the hill?
Well, fortunately for us, Mike, I think, recruiting is a lifeline of all programs. And the one thing that we've always been very good at is identifying talent, talent that we feel that can come to Prairie View and be able to have a huge impact both on and off the court. We've been able to do that early. So all these young men that we signed, we knew about them long before the pandemic broke. And then obviously with these recruiting restrictions, before they came out. So we evaluated them, psychologically, physically, emotionally, in terms of being a fit. We did that way early. So obviously when the pandemic broke, it was really more just about letting them hear from us, letting them know that we're still interested. They're still a priority for Prairie View A&M for 2020-21 men's basketball program. So we just had to kind of finish the job. But fortunately for us, we did our work early, which any smart coach and any smart staff will do that. We knew enough about them to feel good to pull the trigger to make them offers. And fortunately for us, they accepted. And now it's just a matter of getting these guys here on campus, getting on the court, and getting out and trying to execute and win some games.
Now, when you talk about the pandemic, and of course we're in the 21st century, but you have to kind of do an old school approach now when you're recruiting guys and rely more on the phone calls, on the testimonies from not only the coaches that have these young men, but maybe some coaches that you can connect dots to that competed against these young men. And how valuable has that resource been in such a time as this?
Well, Mike, the whole world is who you know in relationships. And obviously in sports, it's huge. And you're right. We were able to talk to people that we knew, that we've trusted their basketball opinion and their experience in evaluating talent. And more importantly than that, what would be a fit at our level? I think enough people have seen us over the past few years to know that we're pretty a gritty, grimy, hard-nosed, fly around, jump up in you, get out and run and transition, athletic type of an environment here. And, there's a lot of players that can play in the SWAC, but that's not, doesn't mean that every player can play at Prairie View because we do things a little bit differently here. But fortunately, the people that we trusted in this business that either coached or coached against these young men know our program, know what we're all about, know our foundation, know our culture, and know our institution, and felt that these young men would be, someone that would serve us well and serve our community well, and obviously and serve the entire institution really well.
Well, that last statement you made, someone's going to consider that a shot fired, right?
A shot fired?
Yes, sir. So I'm just saying, so brace yourself on that. We're talking right now with Coach Byron Smith, head basketball coach of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Now, you talked about coaches that have coached against you guys and know what your system is about. And we're going to go through the list in just a moment. But one particular player comes from a coach that you competed against in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, a coach who you're on record for saying that has been somewhat of a mentor, and that's the likes of Mike Davis. How did that transition come to be? And was it a difficult conversation when the kids suggested that they wanted to transfer to Prairie View?
It wasn't a difficult conversation as far as Coach Davis approaching me about our interest, a level of interest in this young man. Obviously, he was one that we did not recruit and we did not know a lot about because he was a part of the Detroit Mercy basketball program. I think it was more about trust on both ends, that Coach trusted that what we do here at Prairie View would be a good fit for this young man, both academically and athletically, in terms of, and also location. Um, but also I think that this young man trusted Coach Davis, that he's got his best interest at heart. There at Detroit Mercy, just in life in general. So it was more about just getting us on the phone with the family. Coach vouched for both sides. He's a quality young man, a good young man, a hard-working young man that just wants an opportunity to play the game that he loves and get an education. And also vouched that he felt that our program would be suitable for this young man to come in and finish up his final 2 years. So Coach Davis, like you said, is a mentor of mine. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, and I think he likes the job that we've done here. He's said that to me time and time again, and anytime that he can help me and we can help him, that's exactly what we're going to do. So we definitely owe him one for this one, and really excited about this young man coming and helping our program move forward.
Well, I guess the best way you can help pay him back is get that 3P working. Are you working on that 3P, Coach?
I tell you what, man, it's only a few in life that's been able to do that. It's a daunting task, but hey, you know what? You're motivated in life by challenges. It's a great challenge, and we're definitely up for the challenge to try to see if we can make history here on the Hill.
Well, we're talking again with Coach Byron Smith from the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. We do appreciate you taking your time out right now with us, Coach. If you could give us the list of the 8, I know it's been a press release, but for those who might not have had a chance to look at it yet, just a brief on each one of them and what you see them bringing to Panthers basketball.
The first young man is Jeremiah Gambrell. He was probably the first one that we actually signed. He's a Houston Madison graduate. Known Jeremiah and his family for many years as a young player. He's not a grad, he's a transfer from Western Kentucky. He had 3 years to play. He redshirted his first year, had a little bit of a leg injury. So he's a redshirt freshman this year and played some minutes, but they were pretty loaded at the guard spot. So just think he felt, they needed to try to get back closer to home. And like I said, the relationship was there. He can score the basketball. He's a combo guard. He can shoot it from very deep. Can put the ball in the basket. Obviously, we have to help him on the other end, get better defensively. But I think he's going to come in and have a great impact whenever we do play. Really like what he brings to the table. The second young man is Miles Washington. He's a 6'4", kind of a hybrid forward, small forward, 2-guard. Plays really hard. A grown man, really kind of gets downhill, attacks the basket. Plays, each game like his last. I love his excitement, his enthusiasm, his love for the game. Really good on-ball defender. Just a physical guy in a physical league, and I think he's going to be a really good fit. Eric Hester is the third recruit. Eric's a young man that's, has had some off-the-court issues. He started out at the University of Florida as a freshman. I think he was on that Elite 8 or Sweet 16 team, played spot minutes there, transferred to Tallahassee Community College, has kind of put, some of his past issues behind him. He's been very, very conscientious, respectful. He's been a really good student over the past year and a half. He was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, Mike. So on paper, he's probably the guy in this recruiting class that we're bringing in that can come in and can really hit the ground running and have a great, great, great impact. I think he could be an all-league type of performer. About 6'3", 6'4", really good on-ball defender. Really can shoot the basketball, can get to the basket. Very athletic, from the state of Florida. So really excited about what he brings to the table and what he can do. I think he's going to have a major impact. The next gentleman is the gentleman we're talking about, Bo Gabiji. He's from Detroit Mercy. He's Nigerian descent. He's a 6'8", 6'9", kind of a stretch power forward. Really can shoot the ball from 3, but a great body, 225 pounds, can play down low a little bit, but he's a pick and pop guy. And he's going to be really good in our transition, trailing, catching that basketball at the top of the key, what Devontae Patterson did this year and Gerard Andrews. But he's a little bit better shooter than those two guys from that far out. So he's got a chance to do some really good things for us. Really excited about adding him in terms of size and strength, and just a physical kid that's got a great work ethic and works really hard. And we expect him to be someone that could be maybe a double-double guy. That's not easy to do. I don't want to make uh, that as a strong prediction, but he's got the capability to be a double-double guy or somewhere around 7, 8 to 9 rebounds a game. So we're really excited about him coming in. Next gentleman is Gerardo Briscoe. He's kind of a Stacey Augmon type guy. If you remember Stacey Augmon back in the great UNLV days that went on to play in the NBA for years. Gerardo is about 6'7" long, all-time leading shot blocker at Central Wyoming College, junior college. He's by way of the state of Florida. Really can protect the rim. Great defender, great on-ball defender, lengthy, long guy, plays above the rim. Going to probably lead our team in dunks. Capable from 15 to 17 feet out, but that's not his strength. But obviously with some development, I think he's going to be more than capable to be able to do that. But just a ball of energy, Mike. I mean, this kid plays really hard, loves the game. He's going to be able to, we'll be able to do a lot of things with him on the floor defensively, switch ball screens. He can guard point guards. He can guard two guards. He can guard power forwards. Just brings a lot. Really excited about him because obviously we've made our name here at Prairie View off defending and being a good defensive team. So we feel that he fits in really well with what we already do. And we think that he can even enhance and make us even better defensively with his ability to be able to play multiple positions. So the next gentleman was Darrell Roberts, a Dallas kid. Older brother was a four-star recruit years ago at Texas Tech, Darrell Roberts. He comes from a really good basketball family. He's by way of Kilgore Junior College. Multi-dimensional guy, can play some point, can play some two, can play some three. He's a hybrid guy. We can put him out there with any lineup, put him out there at any position, probably except the five, and feel like he can be productive for us. So really good passer, great feel for the game, hard worker, loves the game, great family. Great family. Sister was an All-American track athlete at the University of Texas, and again, like his brothers at Texas Tech. So comes from a great sports family, very supportive people. Good student, makes really good grades, and we're just really excited, about his contribution and what he can bring to the table. So really excited about him. The next gentleman, Damari Paris, is a grad transfer from Eastern Michigan by way of Baltimore, Maryland. It seems like every year, Mike, we get an East Coast kid. We like the East Coast, but really a true point guard, facilitator, distributor, big point guard, 6'3". Can see over defenses, can get downhill, finds the open guy. Really, really good defender. Loves the game. Got a chip on his shoulder. Like I said, transferred in from Eastern Michigan, but he's at Trinity Valley Junior College from there, so he's familiar with Texas, so we like that. And some of the players in our league he's familiar with. So I think he's going to be a natural fit for us. He's a leader. He's tough. Like I said, plays with a chip on his shoulder. So really excited about what he can do. So again, Mike, we're bringing in a lot of guys that we feel that can come in and can contribute. It can do some really special things. And it just gives us a chance to compete. That's all you want is a chance. And I think we do have that. We lost a lot with our seniors. And the two best players in the league this past year, I believe, in Devontae Patterson and Gerard Andrus. But I think that we more than fill those holes in losing those guys, and Antoine Lister and Darius Williams, Chancellor Ellis, those guys, Leon Sneed. But I think we've got a really good group coming in that's going to give us a chance to be right there in the thick of it.
Well, it definitely seems like the cupboard has been restocked, especially on the paper part. Now it's about bringing it all together on the court, if that time permits itself to be. If we could, Coach, you made mention about Hester and had a couple of challenges. Without going into too much detail, are you at liberty to share what those challenges may have been?
I think, sometimes, Mike, I tell people all the time, young student athletes, that you got three components to college life, and one of them is as academics, athletics, and the third is social. You pick two. You're not going to be good at all three, and if you don't take care of the first two, you're not going to be around. So I think Eric probably was immature and I did a little too much nightlife, if you will, and probably just liking to be, one of the boys. And sometimes when you do that, the regular population can do things as much as they want, but there's rules and regulations that student athletes have to abide by. So he's made a mistake. It was off the court, but it wasn't out in the public and the community. But just a simple mistake, if you will, that has been corrected. An error in judgment. And I do think that for the past year and a half, he's had a clean record and done really positive things. I think he's learned from it. He's moving forward and looking to come here and, like I say, have a great, 1 year for sure, possibly two. He has to appeal for one of his years back that he didn't play when he left Florida. So hopefully we can get 2 years out of him, but definitely to get one because I think he can have a great impact in our program here in our league.
Very good. And, of course, I had to ask that question, Coach, because you remember, what kind of problems are they bringing? What kind of problems are they bringing? And we do understand the whole terminology, no risk, no reward. But then sometimes people are offered opportunities of redemption, and we're glad to hear that being a part of it. And look, there is no nightlife in Waller County. Keep them out of Houston, and we might be all right. Huh?
I agree. That's why. That's why we recruit certain kids, Mike, because we know that the temptation is very, very, very low here in Waller County.
Yes,
so
sir.
We hope it don't stay that way.
Unless you're going to be going Kyle tipping or something like that, then we might have a problem on our hand.
Might introduce him to it. I don't know if that's coach can get in by doing that. So.
We're talking right now with Coach Byron Smith, head basketball coach of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Just went over the breakdown of the Elite Eight that will be coming onto the Hill soon and very soon. Now, if nothing else fails, Coach, at least the academia piece can get caught up and get ahead of the game, if you would, with everything that's been slowed down. I don't want to put too much pressure on you, Coach, and I've voiced my opinion as far as fall competition, but if any sport can start at least in January, would be that of basketball. How are you preparing your team physically and mentally for that time of season to start?
Well, the thing about it, Mike, I think because we recruited, I think the right type of kids that are driven and that are working even when the lights are off and people aren't watching. These kids send me texts all the time. We're talking to them all the time. Hey, Coach, I'm going to call you back. I'm in the gym. Hey, Coach, I'm with my trainer. I'm this and that. So they're working. I mean, almost to a man. All the guys we've got coming in and the few that we got returning, they're all workers. And they don't have a lot of extracurricular stuff going on. I mean, they're students, obviously, but basketball, that's their wife, their fiance and girlfriend, all rolled up into one. So we're talking to these guys that, you know what, we don't know the day, the hour, or the time, but we do feel pretty confident that we are going to play basketball at some point this year. And obviously, the best ability is availability. You got to make sure you're available when that call does come and when the time does come. So you got to make sure that you're lifting, you're eating right, that you're playing, you're running. And these guys every day, we know for a fact that, that is in fact what they're doing. We're talking to their coaches. We're talking to their parents. We're talking to teammates and things like that are around them. Hey, man, such and such is working. Hey, we're doing this today. We're playing 5-on-5. Hey, man, we're going to lift this morning. Hey, we're going to run the hill. So not a whole lot we can do with the new guys. Obviously, we can't get out and see them. We can't go watch. We can't really observe what they're doing right now. But the conversations that we're having, really make us really excited and optimistic that they are doing the right things, that when we do tip off, everyone is going to kind of be starting, I won't say from scratch, but kind of starting over a little bit because there's been so much time has elapsed from the last time that we played competitive basketball. But we feel really good about this group, that they're motivated, they're self-driven, they're dedicated, they're committed, and they're doing everything that they can do within their power to make sure they're ready whenever we do get the call, the thumbs up to resume play.
Very good. Now, we all know the physical part that is going to take to become successful on any level, but I know you've been a very outspoken and strong advocate of the mental health issues that a lot of student athletes and people in general are dealing with. It seems to be the hidden elephant in the room. How are you able to even approach that from your position as the head basketball coach at Prairie View with your existing players and even some of your former players to try to at least point them in the right direction when it comes to the mental health concerns that you've had as a coach?
Well, we always talk, Mike, about your choices, and, when you know right, you do right, and here I always tell kids all the time, if you got to think about something, should I, you probably shouldn't. Because good things come on a platter, and there's nothing else really to choose from. If it's like a glass of water, how can you say it's bad for me? Hey, go ahead and drink it. It's going to be good for you. As long as you see who made it for you, whose hands it came out of, it's probably going to be pretty good for you. So we talk to these kids all the time about their choices. It's a very critical time right now. Okay, it's not a lot of time to take any chance. Understand the importance of getting out of the house and getting some fresh air and working out and doing the things you need to do. But those need to be small windows. Being out at night and things like that, it's dangerous from the standpoint of Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, it's just not safe for our young people to be visible at night right now because of, there's a lot of people, on our side, on the African American side, Mike, and I don't mean to be preaching or anything like that, but there's a lot of people on the African American side that are upset by some of the things that have gone on here with George Floyd and so many others, Breonna Taylor. But there's also people on the other side that feel that, some of this stuff, your behavior is warranted that you get treated a certain way. So you got angry people on both sides. And so we tell our kids right now that, it's good not to be seen. Okay. It's not good to put yourself in harm's way. And when you're out at night and things like that, if you're not going to do something that's necessary, picking up mom from work, or if you have a job, or if you're going to go down to the grocery store, the essential things are the things you need to be focused on. Anything extracurricular right now after a certain time at night is pretty risky. So we talk to our kids individually about their choices. Hey, you know what? Just kind of make your schedule for the day. 6, 7 o'clock, probably time to get in the house. Turn on the TV. Obviously, turn on. All these kids have synergy, Mike. Obviously, that's the site that they all go to be able to watch NBA games, college games, old games, and things like that. Turn your synergy on. Okay, watch game film of how we play. We talk to them a lot about that. Watch this game, watch that game, how we play defense, how we do our 2-3 matchup, how we do our 2-2-1-4 court press. We talk to these guys about doing things that are going to help them better basketball players. You got the rest of your life, like my mom would always say, to be grown. So, right now it's about being safe. It's about being focused. A lot of our kids, not a lot, but some of our kids right now are doing online schoolwork. They're in summer school, which is a good thing. They have a schedule and things like that. So, right, Mike, you never know what's going to happen with young people. You can hope for the best. Things can happen in the day. But it's a greater risk, we feel, that things happening at night. So we talk to them about their choices. Walk slow, talk low, and no one will see you. It's kind of the motto that we try to employ. So, it's a constant reminder. And so far, Mike, by the grace of God, our kids have been safe. No one has been harmed. No one has had any types of issues with the police or the law. Our kids have been healthy. No one has had any, types of issues with the corona. To our knowledge, everyone's been healthy and been safe. So we just hope and pray that this will continue.
Well, when you made the mention about the nighttime, it reminded me of an old preacher friend of mine. He used to say, "Preacher, nighttime is for sleeping." He said, "When the sun go down, so should you." But,
Right.
you can't tell that to the young folk these days. So
It's tough. It's tough.
as they say, it's rough out here, brother. It's rough out here.
It is.
Talking again with Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Coach, we're appreciating you taking time out of your busy schedule. A lot of people get it misunderstood, but they're behind the same things that go on behind more than just the X's and O's that they see on the floor. And with that being said, we talked a little bit about recruiting earlier. There's a restriction by the NCAA, but there's this big, massive movement right now. Basketball tournaments are all over the country, just popping up in all the certain regions. And there is a new phenomenon going on right now where people are videoing, of course, as they've always done, getting more accurate stats, and they're compiling this information, making it available for coaches of your nature to recruit and build their programs. A, are you aware of that? B, what do you buy into that particular approach? And C, do you see this being the wave of the future?
The answer to your first question, yeah, I'm aware. We all are aware. We've been approached by countless individuals and groups, sports groups that are, trying to obviously employ this and market this and gauging our interest in it. And I've talked to some people, local people here, in Houston and in Texas, and we talked about that. I do think that it is something that is positive. I really do. I think it's something that's positive because it means that people are continuing to try to contribute to the game, which we all should try to do that to try to make it better. And then when we leave and when we got it, and it was in pretty good shape when we all got it. Last time I checked, at least for my own personal perspective and opinion on it. And third, I think it's always people are always looking for innovate to be innovative and to try to create new areas and new paths to be able to go to create a market. That's another thing too. People are looking to create markets. Because it's a lot of it is they do love the game, but obviously there's revenue in it. Let's be honest about it. I don't know many people that have contacted me that saying we're doing it for free. So there's always a price tag. There's always an attachment. There's always an invoice that comes with it. Even if they tell you and they put all the bells and whistles on how it's going to be great and this and that, it's going to be $300, it's going to be $400. So they're creating markets. So I do think that it is going to be something that's going to be here now and in the future. Us personally, Mike, because most of these people, most of these sports groups, they're marketing and targeting high school kids. And obviously, as you know, and you've seen since I've been the head coach here, we don't do a whole lot with high school kids. And I've got my own reasons for that, multiple reasons why we don't. Not saying that we won't, but we just hadn't really invested a lot in recruiting high school kids. So these particular types of ventures are, they don't jump out at us. That we're just going to jump on board with it and start putting out, countless dollars and paying for these different deals because we've got our own eyes too. And I don't, just me as a basketball coach, I don't trust everybody's evaluation, right? And I'm sure you probably know what I mean by that. So, somebody may say, hey man, this kid can play. But again, like I say, we try to build our program off doing things different and being a little bit unique. And so a kid can play maybe at this particular place, but it may not be a fit for what we're trying to do. So it's more than just shoot, dribbling, and passing. It's understanding, it's effort, it's energy, it's enthusiasm, it's toughness on a daily basis. It's a grind. You've seen us practice, Mike. It's a grind here every day. And we always say our toughest environment, our toughest venue to play in is right here in the Baby Dome. There's no place. We can go play at Cameron Indoor Stadium, Fall Gallon Fieldhouse of Kansas. And it's not going to be tougher than what we do at practice every day. So again, I applaud the effort. I think it's really good. I think there's a lot of coaches that can benefit. We may be able to benefit from it, and I will invest some money in it just as a show of good faith. And there could be a diamond in the rough. It could be a kid that's ready to come in as a freshman and to be able to play 15, 18 minutes a game and can have a great impact. So I do think that it's going to be something that's going to be around for a while, and I think you're going to see more different innovative things being created to be able to help contribute to make our game better.
Okay, and real quickly, Coach, you referred to you don't lean a lot on the high school freshman coming in to be an impact player or even part of right now. Do you think that's attributed to part of the win now pressure that coaches are facing in today's game of basketball and just athletics as a whole?
I think it's a couple factors, Mike, that me personally, I just seen that the emphasis on AAU basketball, which is our feeder system, is not really on development as much as it is on showcase. And what I mean by that is I think they skip steps. I think kids are into more training now, working out with their trainers and things like that, as their AAU coaches and things like that. I don't think they're grinding. I don't think they're working enough. And we've had some players that have come in our program, Mike, that have flat out told me, Coach, we practice too much. We run too much, And we need to play more. Can we get up and down? Can we do some 5-on-5? Nope. We're not going to skip steps here. And that's just something I attribute to the reason I think we practice too much because they don't practice in AAU. They practice once a week, Mike. Sometimes not even that. They say you get a kid that's in Port Arthur and he's playing for the Houston Hoops. He can't make it to 3. They're going to practice 3 times. His dad's not going to bring him down, make that 80-mile jump 3 times a week. He doesn't get off work till 7. They're practicing at 7. Mom's working till 6:30. He can't make it. So that kid's going to come in on Friday and Saturday and play games, never practicing. So they never really understand the importance of practice. I'm a practice coach. All the successful coaches, Mike, from my understanding, they're big on practice, right? You have to practice. And that's been an issue. That's been a problem. So, what we think that most of the high school kids that are coming out, unless they're the Zion Williamsons or the Jason Tatums and, the big time guys coming into the NBA, we think most of these high school kids are probably a year away. So, and again, for us, we're kind of a little bit of a different category now. We want to try to continue this thing. So you bring a kid in, you don't feel like he's ready to compete and play as an 18-year-old freshman. Every kid now has a one-and-done mentality. Calipari and Krzyzewski and Bill Self, them guys have started something with this one-and-done thing. They have a one and done mentality. That means one and done. Either I'm good enough to play 1 year, go to the NBA, or if I don't play the way I want to play in your program in the 1 year that I'm there, I'm gonna transfer on your butt. So it's a one and done mentality. So you bring a kid in and you ask them, hey, you know what? We got this kid, this kid, this kid. You come in, learn our system. Redshirt maybe a year. Then year 2, you're ready to go. I mean, it's like if you do that, it's almost like you snatch the master's ham off of his plate. There's no way he's gonna agree to that.
No,
there's no way he's gonna agree to that.
That's gonna create some problems.
It's gonna create some problems, Mike. So then you got problems in the court. You got problems with body language. You got problems in your locker room. You got guys complaining. You got this guy complaining about not playing time, not enough playing time. You got this other guy over here that's complaining that this guy's shooting too much. I'm not getting enough shots. I'm getting minutes, but I'm not getting enough shots. So you start getting that negativity in your locker room, and it drags the morale of your team down. So you got to be careful. I'm not saying that there's no high school kid that can come in and can impact and can contribute, because we've had a couple that have had a minimal contribution, but we were fortunate enough that they were okay. Fate Williams being one, ended up having a really good year for us this year. He didn't play much as a freshman, but you know what? He waited his opportunity, waited his time, and now things have gotten pretty good for him. A couple of years ago, the kid out of California, Isaiah Hood, came in and was our 7th man. He ended up leaving out at the semester due to some family issues. But so we've had a couple kids that have been able to come in as freshmen and to be able to help. But those, since I've been at Prairie View, have been few and far between. So not saying that we won't ever recruit high school kids, but the JUCO kids and the D1 transfers and the grad transfers, I think, have served us a little bit better than bringing in an 18-year-old freshman and being able to hit the ground running day one.
Well, yeah, you brought up a pretty intriguing factor, at least from my vantage point, and I try to be a little unique. Some will probably give me another adjective other than unique, but that's okay too. The kid that signs it or commits to Howard, the basketball sensation, to just be blunt, I'm excited but not thrilled, if that makes any sense, because he is a one and done, and just as you referred to, if he ever even steps foot on the Howard floor with what the NBA is offering now to kids with that kind of skill set, why would I go to college when I can go make $250,000 to $500,000 in this league? What do you see the future of college basketball as far as the great talent and then everybody else as far as the game goes?
Mike, to be honest with you, the kid, mature maker, I think it's his situation. I do applaud that he felt strongly enough about Coach Blakeney at Howard to commit and to give them that recognition, give them a recruiting buzz. But I think it's a moment, not a movement. I do not think that young man will play college basketball at Howard. I've got my reasons. When you peel back the layers, you can start looking at some different things. That he's not just a traditional African American kid. The kid is a Sudanese Australian kid for one thing. So he's a little bit different. His mentality is a little bit different. He's 19 years old. I don't think he's a full qualifier yet. I'm getting these little tidbits from different people that have kind of peeled back the layers. Right now, everybody's just focusing on the commitment. They're not really looking into, it's an X-ray right now. Of course, an MRI, you can kind of see deeper into the situation. And you're seeing all these external factors that are still going on with the kid. And you're right. You can still be eligible his kid's still eligible for the draft until I think August 24th is when you have to take your name out of the draft. So I think it's a buzz. I think that he's got a ways to go to qualify. I question if he'll ever play at Howard, simply because we don't know when we're going to play. And if this deal runs into January or February, with playing 16, 17 games, someone is probably going to come up to the kid's people, his family, his management, his handlers, whomever, representatives, and say, hey, you know what? We got $150,000 for this kid to go to Italy and play 5 games, as opposed to staying, like you say. I mean, there's some financial stuff that's going to be in it, as opposed to staying and playing, at Howard, for 15 or 16 games. And so I don't think that he ever plays it. I could be wrong. I hope that he does. And then, which comes to the second part, people are thinking that it's getting ready to be a movement. You hear LeBron James Jr. is talking about an HBCU. The kid Mikey Williams, the phenom out of San Diego. Here's my question, right? And here's what someone, because they've been wearing me out about it too. All the faithful alums at Prairie View text me all the time and say, Coach, man, are we going to get one of them guys? I'm like, absolutely we are. We're going to try. We're absolutely going to try. So the number one player in the 2023 class is a young man by the name of Imani Bates. And they say this kid is the next LeBron James and Kevin Durant rolled up into one. Like, he's pretty damn good. I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen him. He's special. He's 6'9". He's looks like Durant, shoots it like Durant, but attacks the rim like LeBron with that athletic. He is a freak.
Wow.
Okay? So, Imani Bates, do your research. Everybody in the country knows about him. But do you know where he committed 2 weeks ago, Mike?
I have no clue.
Michigan State. Michigan State. I'm going to tell you, Michigan State. Michigan State. He committed to Tom Izzo. Michigan State. Can't go wrong with Tom Izzo. Hall of Fame coach, championship coach. Well, here's my question. Now, if Imani Bates had committed to Howard, or if Imani Bates had committed to Prairie View, or if Imani Bates had committed to North Carolina A&T or Central, then I would be more of a believer. Because that kid right there is someone that everybody identifies with that kid. This Maker kid is not American born, and I hate to be this way, but I'm just being honest. He's not American born. He's from another country. They think differently. It could be some different reasons as to why he's doing that. But that's the kid that everybody's watching. Everybody knows Imani Bates. Everybody knows, a lot of people know this Maker kid now, but everybody knew Imani Bates. And that's what I said to someone else. If that kid would have committed, then you know what, then sign me up. I'm not a bandwagon jumper, but I might have had to put on my hydraulics, hop up on that bandwagon. So that's my thinking. So again, Mike, they're wearing me out. These people are wearing me out, the Prairie View people, not in a negative way. Coach done a great job, and the program's rolling. Man, we're right there, and we got all the momentum. People know about us now, and can we get one of them? So, Mike, I'm not going to be stubborn or be a stick in the mud. So, yeah, I offered LeBron James Jr. a couple weeks ago, okay? I offered the kid Mikey Williams about 3 weeks ago. I offered a couple of them, and I offered some local kids just to let people know that I'm not I'm not negative, because what I don't want them to come back and say is that, man, you know what, I like Prairie View. Hell, that coach we ain't hear from him. And then you know what? Then these people gonna run me out of water. so I'm covering my bases. But Mike, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm a lot like you. I'm a fundamentalist. I've been around long enough. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night, and I got a lot of experience beyond basketball. I know people. Okay, I know people. And Mike, if you're taking a young kid, that family, and I hate to make it about family because it should be about the young man and his opportunity. But let's not be foolish. These kids, the first thing they say when they start talking about going pro is to do what? Take care of my family.
Right.
Tired of my mama struggling. So it's going to be about family. So you mean to tell me the same thing you just said, Mike, which I think is key. And you do keep it real. That's why I appreciate you. You keep it real. These kids have a chance to go to college for a year and put $500,000 in their family's pocket, not theirs, because they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to handle $50 at 17 years old. But the family, and mom and dad and brother and sister and grandma and auntie and uncle and all stuff like that, I just don't think many of them are gonna make a decision just based off of what they want to do. It's going to be what's going to impact their family. And at the end of the 11th hour, the family's going to step up and they're going to say, man, we couldn't turn this money down.
I hear you. 1,000%, Coach. And with that, my final question for today, do you see that change in the dynamics of how money flows in collegiate basketball right now?
You know what, Mike? I think that, every time that it seems like we take one step towards it, the NCAA comes back with 2 steps against it. And I think that it's going to be a fight. I think that they're going to agree to it, but I think it's going to be all types of litigation. I think it's going to be years and years and years before. And I think that probably by the time that if they do sign off on it, Mark Emmert won't be the president. He's going to be somewhere on his private island somewhere, not giving a damn. So I think it's years away from it happening. I don't think it's anything immediate. And I just think that it's going to be a fight. And I think what it's going to do, and I think the reason why these G League and these different things are coming up is because the NCAA is really stubborn, and they're very, very strict about amateur versus professional. They want to keep it amateur. And that's the reason why these other people are being innovative, and they're coming up with other streams of income and resources for these kids to be able to go to, because they're not going to get it in college. So I think that what it is a ploy, Mike, to be able to force the NCAA to do something. Because Calipari, Penny Hardaway, Bill Self, Mike Krzyzewski, the Byron Smiths, the Mike Davises, the Johnny Joneses, the Kelvin Sampsons. You know what? We're not big proponents of this new G League setup, $250,000 to $500,000 for a high school kid to go to there as opposed to going to Europe or going to college. We're not big on that. That's kind of right there in the middle. Nobody really benefits from that. The G League is pretty much, it's kind of watered down. It's an up and down league. It's not a lot of coaching and teaching and things. It's a showcase league. You can't coach those kids in the G League because you know what? They're thinking about the NBA. Man, you holding me back. You holding me back. It's almost like an older version of AAU. That's what it is. And I'm not knocking it because I respect all coaches. But I think that that's the reason why you're starting to see these different pop-up leagues, startup leagues, where they can give one or two or three or four kids, $250,000 to $500,000 to put pressure on the NCAA to say, hey, you know what, we're going to start paying these kids a stipend, paying them for their likeness and their image and things like that. So I think the ball is rolling and turning, but I don't think that it's going to be anything immediate at the NCAA because you got a bunch of stubborn ex-lawyers that make up the NCAA. That's what most of them are.
Well, something about a lawyer, I don't think they ever become ex. But
exactly, true. Yeah, exactly. No, hey, let me reword that. Non-practicing attorneys or lawyers is what you see made up of the NCAA. That's what you see a lot. Absolutely.
Okay, man. Look, as always, you are a burst of energy, a wealth of knowledge, and the passion that you have for basketball is definitely, you can't dispute that from any angle. And we appreciate you being a friend to this network. You know the custom here, Coach. We're going to give you the moment now to have some closing thoughts and comments, and the floor is now yours.
Mike, as always, man, we appreciate you. The Mike Prince Network, man, you've been really good to us and giving us exposure in our men's basketball program from day one. You've been very supportive, as a friend, and just having a really good working relationship. Keep doing what you're doing. I love to talk. I'm pretty long-winded, as you can see. Never shy on a comment. So anything that we can do moving forward to help you and your network, we want to do that. But once again, to everyone out there in Prairie View Nation, stay safe, follow the protocols, and by the grace of God, we'll get past this tough time, and hopefully we can get back to sports and doing the things that we love to do.
Well, my friend, we're definitely praying with you on the altar for that one. And we want you to stay safe, stay out of harm's way, and keep doing what you're doing, my friend, and go Panthers.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach Byron Smith, the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Time on the wall tells me that I must exit stage left. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As always, you guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side.